Welcome to Ageless Ambition. I'm Jeraine Simmons, your podcast host. Welcome to the experience where on this evening we are discussing aging gracefully. I have three women with me on tonight: Kimberly Owens, Lenora Kill, and Dion Hallback. We'll be taking you through our journey of healing, strength, encouragement through this aging gracefully. On tonight, we have special snacks that we have designed and drinks and cocktails and things like that that we have. And so I would like every woman to just go around the room, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, and then let us know what you're having on tonight. And so we'll start with Kim.
Sure. So, hello, ladies. My name is Kimberly Owens, but you can call me Kim. And I am a mother of two young men, grown men. And they are my life, my world. And I'm also a PK. So I'm a
Mm-hmm.
pastor's kid. So I am grown up in the church, of course, all my life. And I work in insurance field, and I do a lot of everything. I love to hand knit. I love to cook, bake, all that good stuff. And I think what I love also is connecting with women and
Yes.
just having the opportunity to bounce things off of women and just learn and just be able just to have that sisterhood. So,
Yes.
yeah. So
And that's what we're
what
going to do tonight.
awesome. So what I have tonight, I don't know if can you see? It's my little
Yes.
plate charcuterie. So some cheese, some fruit, crackers, nuts, all that good stuff. And my beverage of choice today is because I've been so cold, is some hot tea.
Yes. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, Lenora.
Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Lenora Keel. I am also a wife of 42 years, a mother of a son. He's 39, will be 40 in December. His wife, Jessica, and the two of them have two gorgeous kids, my grandkids, Emery, who is just turned 7, and Jameson, who is 10 and will be 11 in November. I am a retired school social worker and consultant of student and family services out of Princeton High School. I also am a consultant and do private therapy. Um, I have been in social work for over 42 years. I am 60, about to be 69 years old. And I am so thankful for every day and every blessing. I enjoy spending time with my family. My husband and I do a lot of traveling. We're blessed to be able to do that. I enjoy decorating. I enjoy making floral arrangements. I do them for our church functions and for other things. In the process of doing them now for our class reunion. I also love making goodie bags and treats. I think I have people spoiled because I can't show up during the holidays without goodie bags and treats. Um, I love reading. I love dancing. I love music. I love being around positive Black women in particular. I love sharing experiences. I love to uplift and encourage others. And like I said, I'm just thankful for every day. I did
Yes. And
find a good thing I because it's been quite a day. So I've had some cookies here, and I was did
hey,
finish my dinner, which consists of some spinach and some tuna macaroni salad and some chicken wings that I had left from an event I had yesterday. I do have my wine cooler with me, and I also have water.
yes, yes, love it. And Dion?
Hello, everyone. My name is Dion Hallback. I am from Trenton, New Jersey. I am a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm an auntie. My nephew just started kindergarten, and I've been in a relationship for a few years. Outside of that, I am, as you can see, probably on my background, I work in higher education. I've been in higher education for almost 25 years, which is very hard to believe. My specialty is financial aid. I enjoy helping students and parents, and just really anybody navigating the financial aid process. Also an adjunct instructor. Classes start this week. So I'm entering, I think it's my ninth year teaching freshmen writing through a seminar class, so I'm enjoying that. As Jeraine knows, I am a foodie, so I can't wait to show you what I made. But I'm involved in different activities in my community. I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I enjoy attending my church. I love my friends. I love hanging out. One of my passions is the arts. So I love going to plays. I love going to concerts. Anything with the arts, that is my thing. So I'm just excited to be here. Excited for my friend Jeraine Simmons and her journey. I've known Jeraine since kindergarten. And I don't know so many people can
Oh,
say that, but we're
Yes,
friends
yes,
since kindergarten. I'm just so, so proud of Jeraine and what she is accomplishing through her podcast. So,
yes. And
oh,
what do you have on tonight? Let's see.
so my nickname for myself is Foodie D. So as I shared earlier, this is my plate. I'm not sure if you can see it with my background a little bit, but I made actually
Okay.
eggplant cutlet. I have jasmine rice, and I love vegetables, so I made some bok choy. I sauteed the bok choy with
Hmm.
bell peppers and onions and vegetables. And then my drink of choice is new. Friend of mine actually introduced me to Costco's it's called Izzy's. So it's like a sparkling water, sort of. So I have an
Ah.
orange flavor for today.
oh,
That is
Yes, yes,
it.
yes. And so on tonight, I have just a little, I am a snack person. If I can get over that, then I will be fine. But on tonight, I have some strawberries, some cheese and crackers, and some olives. And again, I was telling you guys about this this sparkling water or that is really good. It's really yummy. And this is the pear and it's so good, so refreshing. And so that's what I have on tonight. So, ladies, let's get into aging gracefully. So, when we say the word aging gracefully, what does that mean to you? And so you can jump in. Go ahead, Lenora.
Okay. Mhm.
well, what it has come mean to me is being able to accept who I am at this point in my life, to think about, to be happy of who I am, what I've been through, what I've overcome, but the person I have that I am at this point in my life, and to think about the relationships that I have with family and friends and to be thankful for those. And just at the point where not having to make excuses, not having to accept anything I don't want to accept, and be free to say no, say yes.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Mhm.
just to
Yeah.
be who I am. I mean, it's a journey. Life is a journey, and to be at this point now where I'm like thankful to be at this point, almost 69 years old in a month,
Mm.
um, and hitting 70 on the back door, but but just graceful. I mean, thankful to be where I am at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Lenore's also, I met her through Black Women New Jersey. And actually, I just met her at Raza's on
Oh, wow.
Thursday
Mm.
during the storm.
Doing
And
the
we enjoyed
storm.
that evening. And she said, reach out to me. And here she is. And I'm just thankful for your support.
You're welcome.
Kimberly?
Um, I it's I see aging gracefully to me is going through like the seasons. And I'm going through a season. I'm 55 and my sons are grown. And now my season is now it's time for me. So
Mm.
I've raised them. I don't have any grandchildren yet, but I just see it as we all have, there's the seasons of life, and going through those seasons, whether it is like Lenora said, your different relationships or your relationships with family and friends, seeing that and aging gracefully and going through those friendships or going through those acquaintances that you have, aging, you're seeing something the other season that you were in with those friendships or with those relationships. And
Mm-hmm.
now aging, you're like, wow, that season is over for me with that. And now I'm in this new season and
Right.
I'm going into it with joy because I'm like, okay, what's next? Like, I'm excited about the new season with aging and gaining that wisdom that I didn't have in that other season or that season before last. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm embracing it. And is it a little difficult at times? Because, yeah, I know like sometimes you want to stay that youthful look and it's like, okay, in the body and moving around. But I'm like, you know what? It's okay if I'm not moving like I used to. Um, it's okay. It's okay. And it's not really about looking younger. It's it's just being able to take care of yourself. And at this point, it's about self-care and making sure that
Yes.
you're okay.
Yeah.
So that's how
Yes.
I see it. Mhm.
I think what's so awesome about aging gracefully is that number one, like you said, the acceptance part of it. And
Yeah.
I have become a person where, trying new products, right? Because I do struggle. I'm be honest, I do struggle with the aging part of it. And I understand the value of like self-care, skincare. I'm on a chat also with Dion Hallbeck, and I'm like, does anybody try collagen out there? What kind of vitamins are you taking? And so that part, I'm understanding the nutrition part of it, the wellness part of aging, and understanding the skin that you're in. But you hit on something, Kim. You said the self-care part because
Yeah.
I'm understanding that peace is important, rest
Yeah.
is important,
Mhm.
and then understanding that, it's okay. Like you said, you're not moving like you used to move. But like Dion, who is always in the gym,
I'll
she's
talk
like,
about that when my turn
She's
comes.
like, you gotta move. You gotta keep moving those joints so that, you can preserve that fluid, that synovial
Mhm.
fluid that is inside your joints. So Dion,
It's interesting you mentioned that, and then I was listening to both Lenore and Kim, but Kim mentioned something as far as like it's funny how like now I'm in my almost approaching my actually mid 50s. And when I was
don't
21,
say
I was
that.
excited. I never thought about being
Oh,
50,
good.
53, right? So it's just like I knew what I was doing then, and now I'm like, wow, I'm here, right? What does that mean? What does that look like? But I think it means for me, and I'm really working on this, is embracing who I am at this point, right? So
Mhm.
as Doreen mentioned, I love to exercise. I don't exercise as often as I used to. I'm not as quick when I'm running, sometimes walking things. And so that really is challenging for me in some aspects because I knew what I used to be able to do and what I'm not doing now. But it reminds me that thanks to God, I'm still here, right? So I can still do those things, right? So while I'm here, I need to take care of my temple, right? So
Yeah.
I may not run as fast as I used to. I may not can lift all the weights I used to, but it's still important to do those things, right? So that's one thing it means for me. Also, Lenore says something which I'm learning to do more of, which is say no, right? So I'm a yes
Mhm.
person. Yes, I help you do this. Yes, I. And the past couple of years, I've got burnt out doing a lot of different things, which I all love. But my mom's like, you need to rest. I'm like, oh, mom, yeah, I'll rest. And so I'm really understanding the importance of rest. And
Mhm.
so yesterday was a big event. I love house music. I took my nephew to the movies before kindergarten and I came home. Right. I said, I
You
need to
didn't
get some
go?
rest. I did not go. I wanted
Oh,
to go, but my spirit was like, it's okay if you're not on every scene. Like you went to one house festival like 2 weeks ago, and it actually was good because I was able to do things in my home. I was able
yeah.
to rest. I was able to get to bed early and be comfortable to exercise, right? So just learning how to navigate and listen to my body and things of that nature, but also as was mentioned, was reaching out to friends. Like I'm on several chats, like one with Jeraine. What vitamins are you taking? What are you doing here? How are you feeling? How are you navigating menopause and all of that stuff, right? And just having a
Yeah.
core group of women that you can talk to. But
Mhm.
really, I think it boils down to being comfortable with who you are and knowing that while you're still here, you can still improve upon yourself. You can still learn. You can still grow. Um, and so we're all beautiful regardless. So.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Amazing. And so, ladies, what is something about getting older that you appreciate now that you may not have appreciated when you were younger?
Hmm.
I think for me, what I've learned to appreciate is that to be more accepting of who I am, but all that I've accomplished in my life, the hurdles, the good, the bad, the indifferent, and to be able to come out and still be able to smile, still be able to move. I don't move as fast. My knees aren't as good as they used to be. I enjoy running and stuff too. Like I enjoy dancing. I've been a dancer forever, still enjoying getting out there, cutting up on the dance floor. But I find, I get a little tired, a little quicker now, but it's all right. I'm still out there hanging when I can. Um, but I think just getting to a point of being comfortable in my own skin, comfortable with
Mm,
where I am, and also, I mean, and this will probably come up down the road again too, another question, but just also forgiving of past mistakes, forgiving myself, forgiving others,
yes.
so that I
Yeah.
move on and be in a better place and not be held back by what could have, should have been, but just to be thankful for the here and
I
now.
love that how you said, no longer living in regret. And so, Kimberly?
Yeah. So, Lenora, you hit on that about being more forgiven, and that's what I've learned to do. Not that I didn't, but I would hold things and not grudges, because I that I'm not going to take my joy away from holding grudges, but just when people either rub me the wrong way or just do something where I'm like, I'm helping you and you're just not open to it or whatever. It's I've held that, and I would either blame myself or just say, well, what can I do better? What can I do more? Why are you doing this? I let that go. And it's so different now. So I see that, and it's part of also having more wisdom
Yes.
than when I was younger, the wisdom that I have. And I've gained that wisdom from my mother, my grandmother, and other strong Black women,
Yes.
so that now I'm like, yes, this is this is what aging is really about. So
Hmm.
I you did hit on a couple of things with that.
Yes, I love that. And I believe like the things that I've adopted from my mom, I see more now and I appreciate them now more than ever. I had a conversation with my mom and she was telling me about skincare and how different toxins actually affect your skin. And
Mm.
so when I was younger, I was like, thinking I would have oily, nice skin forever. And so as I've gotten older, I understand that wisdom that she was pouring into me at a young age, like take care of your skin, cut back on the alcohol, Don't all make sure you have a good skincare treatment and things of that nature. And so I'm understanding the value of that. And when you talk more about wisdom, just the lessons that I've learned over the years, understanding that no is an answer, understanding that your peace is priceless. And people say that as a cliche, but it is important to understand that whatever does not bring you peace, it is going to create an environment of chaos. And you do have a choice whether or not you want to live in chaos or do you want to live in peace. Okay. And so understanding that I do have a decision, because at one time I valued other people's opinions of me. I valued what other people said. And it was almost like that people pleasing mentality where you just wanted to please everyone. And so you sacrifice your own happiness. And so
Yeah.
as I've gotten older, I've understand the value of pleasing Jeraine first, prioritizing Jeraine's health and Jeraine's peace of mind first.
Yeah.
And Dion?
I would say I was actually thinking similarly to Kim when she mentioned the part about wisdom, right? And so when I was younger, not that I knew it all, but I can navigate different things. But as you're getting older, like things change, right? So being more open to ask for help, right? Or to
Mm.
ask questions. And so I'm the oldest, so sometimes I'm considered to be bossy a little bit, right? But just asking for help, what do you think about this? And getting other people, pulling people in more as I get older than I think I have done in the past. So that's one thing that I think is different from when I was younger to where I am now. But I think also being open to really learn more, right? So we always say we never, you never stop learning, right? So just always being open to whether it's about fitness, finance, healthcare, stuff. There's so much information out there now. And just always reminding myself that there's always more for me to learn. So,
Amen to that. And so, ladies, do you feel like, we always talk about social media and different influences on aging? Do you
mm.
feel like women are struggling with getting older, aging gracefully, and what do you think lies behind that? Take your time.
It's funny you mentioned that. I'm thinking about, I used to teach, and I won't be too long-winded, but I used to teach a class about communication and gender, one of my classes. And so we talked about how, especially in media, right? Women always have to have, makeup. You have to move the wrinkles. You have to nip this, tuck this. And it's like we're human beings, right? As you get older, things change, right? And it's okay with that, right? I think with social media, and it also depends, of course, on your algorithm, right? But I do think sometimes that it still impresses upon us to look a certain way, maybe. But I think more so now, especially with the circles that I'm in and maybe the things that I'm seeing, it's okay to age, right? So, but
Hmm.
aging gracefully, like we talked about, what are you doing for your self-care? How are you sleeping, right? But I think there will always be that because of our society and how women are viewed. I think that's always going to be there about, trying to look younger, but really I think it boils down to what do you think about yourself and are you going to accept it, right? What do you accept about yourself? But I think social media, and it really depends on who you are, but I think in our society as a whole, that will always be a thing, but it really boils down to what do you believe, right? How do you feel about yourself? Do you like what you look at? Of course, people want to change, right? I do wear makeup, that's fine, right? But
Right.
I may not get, my cheeks lifted, right? I'm not doing all that this age,
Yeah.
right? But I think it plays a part to cut it short, but I think it also depends on who you are and what you value about yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I noticed too with the social media. Um, it is all about, well, my routine in the morning, my routine at night, the eye mask, this
Mm.
cream, then another cream, then this cream. And I look at some of the social media and I'm like, whew, either I have to wake up an hour before to do all of this, an hour before bed to take it all off, to put stuff back on.
Right.
And it's just, I think social media, with so much of it, it does have a huge influence. And unfortunately, you look at the younger group and they are full on with it. And
Right.
at this point in my life, I'm falling back on what my grandma used, and she was just like, "Girl, just use some olive oil." That's all you
That's what
need.
my mom used to use, oil of Olay.
It's like, that's all you need is some water and some olive oil. You're good. But like Dion said, it's the makeup and all of that, and you have to just embrace what you feel is right for you, and that's what I think it really boils down to. You know, do I wear makeup? I do, but do I don't do a full face. I don't It's okay, and if you're comfortable with that, then I think that's what matters the most. You feeling what's good for you.
I
Exactly. And Lenore, before you answer this question, can you also talk about what do you believe the root of that is? Can you incorporate that?
Well, what I'm thinking some of the root is, as the ladies were saying before, and I do worry about our younger generation, but I think part of the root is some, in some ways, have grown up, you know,
Mm.
have to look a certain way. You have to
Mhm.
act a certain way. You have to be a certain size, too tall, too short, too fat, too skinny. And so I think some of that is the mentality, what society have told us and shown
Mm-hmm.
us. Some of that may be changing to some degree, but I worry. But I must admit, I don't do the TikTok, look at Instagram every now and then. I do go on Facebook, but maybe just because I'm older, I don't get caught up in a lot of that stuff. A lot of and I do wear makeup, but my mother was kind of a fashionista kind of person, so she never went out the house. Things always matched. You
Mhm.
know, we didn't years ago, obviously didn't do an all parents younger didn't have all that stuff to worry about, but they cared about how they look. And I remember being drilled in my head as a young Black girl, as a woman, that society will judge you.
Mhm.
By the way, if you come out there, assume that you this, that, and the other. If you don't look a certain way, if your clothes are ripped, if they don't match, if they're not on, if they're so. I think some of the root is just what we've learned, what we've incorporated, what we've internalized, either from growing up or from other people, and now from social media, with people telling you the way you should look, you know,
Mm.
your skin, that you're not attractive if you have bags under your eyes.
Mhm.
Don't get a tuck under here or your chin up or breast butt out or something, that you're not beautiful. And I'm always happy to see that there are people fighting back on that and
Mhm.
saying, okay, because my thing is, look, what you see is what you get at this point. And I'm not lip tucking like
Yep.
this, you know, that's it. Because I'm not going under the knife to tuck and cut nothing at this point. So yeah, it is what it is. So, but yeah.
I agree. I agree. Relationship with your body, beauty, or confidence changed as you've gotten older.
I think for me, it it was a love and hate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
um, I think now I've truly accepted. I fought the I fought the beauty side of it, and aging and how would I look, and do I want my hair gray? Um, let me dye it as long as I can, and I had to just realize that, who are you trying to impress, Kim? Who who are you trying to please? Are you pleasing yourself? So I had to dig deep into that and see what was changing for me. And I feel like I don't feel, I know that for me right now and moving forward is I'm great with my hair being gray. I love it. It's different. And my body has gone through different changes through menopause and all of that. It's I'm like, okay, I still have my curves. I might have a little extra in one area than the other, but I'm working on that. And I have to give myself grace.
Mm.
That's my main thing. In my relationship with myself, I'm like, Kim, give yourself grace. That's it.
I love how you just said give yourself grace and that you're embracing who you are because I believe like in every stage we have an opportunity to reinvent ourselves.
Mm.
What I've realized is that just showing up because I was quick to just throw on a pair of leggings and a t-shirt and just do my running around. But now I intentionally say, Jeraine, you got a closet full of clothes. Put some clothes on, you
Mm.
know, make sure that you are presentable, not for who's out there, but for yourself. So you still show up for yourself. I think as I've gotten older, I've understood the value of like going back to self-care and I've become more confident in who I am and
Mm.
what I stand for, and understanding that you do have purpose. Because some people feel like, that mindset, okay, you're 50. Why are you even bothering to do this? Why do you do that? Why do you want to try this? You should have done all of that by now.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
definitely believe like every day you wake up, you have an opportunity to try a new food, right?
Right.
Visit a new country, try a different language. You still have that opportunity to learn and understanding as far as like beauty and your body is concerned. Yes, I am concerned about my body because I've like everything is shifting downward, right? And so, and then being on the GLP-1 meds, it's like, yeah, everything is loosening too, but you do have that decision to make to, do some arm weights, do some walking, and just try the best that you can in that stage. I love Kim how you just said give yourself grace because
Right.
I don't think
Mm.
that we as women give ourselves enough grace. I think sometimes we are our own worst critic, our own worst enemy. And so, Dion.
That is me. Just the other day, I sat down, I looked to the side, and I was like, oh my gosh. Right? But it's okay. Right? So you talked about three things. You said body, right? And so because of I have high blood pressure, right? So I know exercising is important, right? What I put into my body is important. So I am trying to be more conscious of that, and I've done a lot better.
Go back.
The elders in my community have gone great early. We talk about beauty. So I'm not there yet, but so I will be there at some point. But
Take your time.
right. With the hair, I do dye and all of that. But as far as beauty is concerned, I'm accepting who I am now, right?
Mm.
So, in that area, I don't really struggle in any way. I think I have become more confident over the years, even though people
Mm.
think I'm always confident. I think everyone has some kind of, I won't say issues, but maybe internal things that they struggle with, right?
Hmm.
So I think as I've aged more, I've become more accepting of who I am, how I look, the things that, as Drain says, stand for, things that I do, don't do, what have you. So I think my self-confidence has actually grown over the years,
Mm.
especially as I've aged, and not always trying to think about why I was this, I used to do this, right? And so, as Kim said, I think grace is important. I think I learned about grace during COVID.
Mm.
So,
Yes.
because when you were in home by yourself, and as I call it, hugging the couch, I gained a lot of weight during COVID, right? just with a lot of things, right? I learned the concept of what grace is, and really giving myself grace in a lot of different aspects of my life. So,
Amen to that. And so,
Yeah.
ladies, what is something nobody really prepared you for at this stage of womanhood? What is something nobody really prepared you for about this stage of womanhood? Now, everybody's at different stages of their life, different ages, and it doesn't necessarily have to be 69. It could be in your 60s or in your 50s, just womanhood, period,
I
that you had to go ahead.
yeah, over the years, as Kim was saying too, just different seasons of your life, and I was always prepared for um some of the tough decisions you have to make at different stages of life. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Not always prepared to have to be the one person that everyone depends on quite a bit.
mhm,
Sometimes yourself and other to push others up and losing sight of who you are or can be. So for me, it's been a journey of kind of accepting because I wasn't always as happy with myself as a younger person with my looks. I can look back now and laugh a little bit because I was a skinny little thing, no more. Growing up, and I wasn't always as pleased with my looks and my shape and my who I was. But as I have
Mm-hmm.
cured and the pounds have come and so forth, but still getting to a place where I can still work to being happy with who I am. And the term grace, I love that because that's something I use a lot when I talk to other women and have
mhm,
grace for myself as well. Because as someone had mentioned, we're our own worst critics. And so we look in the mirror because I can look in the mirror some days and go, girl, you used to be in better shape. And then
Mm-hmm.
used to be, but again, all the used to be's, could have be's does us no good. So to learn to embrace, like you said, the forgiveness of who we are and where we are, and being happy with, you know what, this is who I am, this is where I'm at, and I'm good with it as I move forth, and being happier um, as I have gone along my journey in life. So feeling in a good place for right now.
Amen to
mhm.
that. And so, again, what is something nobody really prepared you for about this stage of womanhood?
Hmm.
I think for me in this stage, I wasn't prepared for going through the menopause, um, and experiencing the different emotions
Okay.
that go with
Yeah.
it. My mother, unfortunately, she had medical issues, so she was forced into menopause at a very young age. So she didn't really go through the steps with my sister and I. So it's and my sister and I are close in age, so we were going through menopause pretty much the same time. So it was nice in that sense of we were able to bounce things off of each other, but I really wasn't prepared of how my body would be, how it would react to
Mm-hmm.
different things, and feeling like I don't want to say like my life of being young is over because it's not, but it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm going through menopause. Like I've reached that next step. So I wasn't prepared for that mentally. Like on one end, I'm like, yes, I, I'm done with the other stuff. so, so now, but I wasn't really prepared for that. And it came as a shock with certain things. But having, again, like I said, having my sister and
Mm-hmm.
us talking about it and having someone there with you, and you can just call up and say, oh my gosh, did you have this happen to you? Or or you not know, and then they say to you, oh yeah, I was going through this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was experiencing the same thing. I was wondering what was wrong with me. I didn't know if I have to go to the doctor, get checked out, blah blah blah. So that was something I was not expecting and I wasn't prepared for.
I think that internal thermostat.
I like that. Yes.
I haven't gotten used to it, but like earlier and even like during here, I'm sitting here and my body temperature is just rising and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna all of a sudden start sweating out of nowhere and people are gonna see me. And then what I get is the same thing that I did to my sisters, right? So when I was younger, I used to tease my sisters because they're outside in the winter time. And I'm like, what are you guys doing outside in the winter? And they're like, it's just so hot, so hot. And now I'm understanding what they meant because it's like I'm have the air just like blowing on me at certain periods, and I understand. I think the one thing is that I wasn't prepared for the emotional roller coaster is
Mm.
that sometimes I'm up and down. And then I had to learn what triggers me. And I think my sisters, Lisa and Brenda, just be like, okay, we're just going to get off the phone now. We're just going to let you go. But then at one point, it did get to the point where I had to, because I was about to sacrifice every relationship. Like, I'm about
Mm.
to in this right now because you're going through something and you don't understand what it is until you go to the doctor and then they try to train you to understand your triggers, to understand that sometimes it can be an emotional imbalance where your body's now adjusting to a new you, a new version of you. And so you go through that emotional roller coaster. And I think understanding my triggers was something that no one could prepare you for because everyone is different. And then the other part that I had to embrace as far as like womanhood and understanding it is, and I'm just going to just say it out, is the changes with relationships. Right. And I'm talking, I know Lenora, you're married, Kimberly, you're married also. And so understanding that relationship parts of it changes. I'm not going to be so forthcoming on here, but everyone understands what I'm talking about is that things may not always operate the same way and things like that. And so as
Mhm.
women, I had to say, you know what? Okay, things are just a little bit different, things aren't as great. The driving isn't always as there, but and that's cookie cutter because some women, they still have the same drive that they had when they were in their 20s, and some people are like, hey, you know what? I can either be with or be without. But I think those are some of the challenges that I
Yeah,
personally had to embrace.
so true.
I'll
Dion.
chime in. It took me a minute to think about it, but I was a couple different things. One I will say is the roller coaster, right? The emotion. I don't think I really, it hit me one day when I was happy, then I was sad, and I was like, what is going on with you? Right? And then it hit me. So no one really prepared me for that aspect of it. And really kind of like, I guess as Jarena, I was listening to her talk, really kind of taking stock of your triggers are really being in tune to what are you doing, people you're talking to. So I think the roller coaster thing I wasn't prepared for. Definitely the internal thermostat. Someone put on Facebook and they said, "Why didn't they tell me when you're asleep just to put your leg out the bed and you get away from?" I was on the floor. I was like, "Oh my gosh, is everyone doing that?" Because that's all I need. I'm like, "Oh, there's some air."
Yes, yes,
And then I
yes.
saw it had to be at least about 50 people chime in. Yes, the one leg out the bed. So I wasn't sure if anybody experienced that, but the internal thermostat is I'm getting used to it. But still, like Doreen said, it'll come out of nowhere. At my church, one lady, she sits 2 rows in front of me, and one day she was going at it, and I was like, this poor lady. And then next thing I know, a couple years, I was like, oh, here I go. Now I'm with her. Like, you have a fan. I said, I bring my own fan to church.
And people
Um,
tease us, right? So it's this, everyone has a fan. Does everybody have a portable fan that they
I
take
have
out
a
with them?
couple fans. I keep one in my
Yes.
car. I have a
Of
portable.
course.
I have handheld.
Mhm.
That
And do
internal.
you know they have been nicknamed the menopause fans?
I didn't know that.
So a guy told me, he said, yeah, y'all menopause fans. You carry them everywhere. And I was like, menopause? Is that what y'all
Yes, we
think?
do. And they're
Yeah,
making a
every
lot of
woman
money
that
off of us
has
too.
it
How about
out,
that?
she's going through menopause. Look at Lenore. Like,
And made that up. Well, it's true, but okay.
It's true, right? If I buy one more fan from Amazon, let me tell you, I
Right?
got something like. But I think,
and
yeah, the emotional triggers, the internal thermostat, and then I would say also being okay. Um, how can I phrase it? Speaking your truth, right? Um,
Mm.
I
hmm
think that's important, right? So, not that I always tell people it's how you tell somebody something, right? So I
right.
think your tone sets the tone for the conversation, right?
Mm.
So I think being more confident in speaking my truth, but saying it with respect, whether, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But being more comfortable expressing myself, I think, and being okay with it. And if you like it, you like it. But I think that's something that I wasn't taught or not to taught, but just wasn't prepared for. But
hmm
just and also admiring other women who are already there, and seeing how they
Yes.
manage certain situations,
Mhm.
knowing that it's okay for you, of course, to have an opinion, but to say this is how I feel, and these are my reasons why, or there's no reason why, right? So I think that's something, those three things.
Right. And that leads us into our next question is that as you've gotten older, what is something that you stopped apologizing for in life? Like, because at one time we were like, well, I apologize. I apologize. And like how you said, I apologize that I can't make it here and
Yeah.
be 100% for you. But what is some things, ladies, that you've stopped apologizing for?
I've learned to stop, and it was a process, to stop apologizing for taking time for myself. Stop apologizing for not being available every time someone else needs me. Stop
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
apologizing because I may have said something that you didn't particularly like, even though it was true.
Mhm.
Stop apologizing because I am now putting me first. Stop
Yes.
apologizing because, I have learned to give myself grace and mercy. And again, it's been a process. And I'm
Mhm.
apologizing because I did not meet your expectations.
Mm.
Mm, I
I'm
love
gonna
that.
I'm gonna snap on that one, Lenore.
Yes. Yes.
hmm
I would say, just to piggyback, I would say stop apologizing for, I think, giving explanations, right? So, oh, I can't come because of this or that, and someone actually shared, who I know. She said, you can still support people. You can't be everywhere, right? But
hmm
doesn't mean that you're not supporting them, right? You can share information, can I help you do something before the event or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
And then someone actually in my church told me this. I was telling her why I couldn't do something, and she was like, "Why are you telling me why? Just tell me no." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." This was
And
a
that's
couple
so
of
much
years ago, but
easier.
now I see what she means. She was like, "See that, sweetheart, it's okay. I don't have to know why.
Mhm.
Just tell me." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." Like, she gave me permission.
Yeah.
But now I realize why she was doing that, and now I'm comfortable saying, no, I'm not available, right? If I want to tell you why, then I'll tell you why. But doesn't mean I always have to give you an explanation for everything. So, yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
Mhm.
I always had an issue with saying no to people because they always depended, oh, well, Kim will do it. Kim will be here. And I always be like, yes, okay. And running from this place and that place and never saying no. But I have stopped and I do say no now. When there's something and I'm just like, you know what? No. And I don't apologize for it. Um,
Mm.
just like setting boundaries. I
Mhm.
never set
Mm-hmm.
boundaries.
Yeah.
And I would apologize for either allowing or not allowing something to happen. I would apologize, or even if, say for example, is if I felt a certain way, I would apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry that, you know, I can't do this. Or if I didn't feel a certain way, I would apologize. And I'm like, no, I'm going to tell you now how I feel. And I'm not being mean, but why can't I express how I feel and not have to apologize for it to you? So
Right.
it's the setting the boundaries and saying no. That's what I don't apologize for anymore. And it feels good.
Amen. It does feel good. It's freeing. Like how Dion
Right.
said, the lady explained to her, like, no is an answer. And it
Right.
probably felt so much freer to just not have to be so elaborate or,
Mhm.
oh, I got this going on, okay,
Yeah.
you can't make it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because no is an answer, but people fail to realize that.
Right.
So what do you guys think? So this is so you know how they say like when you hit 50, you stop apologizing or stop caring about what other people think of you. Have you gotten to that point where you just like, you know what? I am who I am. I'm showing up as I am. Have you ladies gotten to that point? I'm sure Lenora, like, yeah, I've been there. I can see it on her face. Like,
It was a process why yes. And it's still, even though I'm in my late 60s, it was
Mhm.
a process. So in my 40s, 50s, and early, obviously, yeah, I wasn't there, but now I'm at the place now, okay, I can show up um and I don't have to um feel the need to apologize, but to be okay with being able to do what I can or not do what I can or accept who I am. And if I have time for you and feel that you're not going to interfere with
Mhm.
my peace, then yeah, I can
Mhm.
do you and we can do things. But if not, learning to just like, yeah, I'm over it now. I'm just
right, right. And so, have any of you ladies ever experienced where you had to change your relationships, your expectations, or your habits in order to become the woman that you see today?
mm.
Mm.
That's some good questions, Drain.
Oh, oh,
Say the question
jeez.
again.
Yeah.
So, have any of you women had to shift relationships, expectations, or habits in order to become the woman that you are today?
Mm.
I would say yes, because as far as like relationships is concerned, I had to reprioritize people, right? And we often have some friends who we can do brunch with, some friends who we can do exercise fitness classes with, some friends who we just have telephone conversations with. I had to appreciate where people were at in their life and
Mm.
understand that their life and their season does not align with mine or vice versa. And I had to say, okay, it's okay that our season does not align anymore. I'm not going to break the friendship. I just have to reprioritize it. And so an
Mhm.
example of that is I had a girlfriend of mine where we used to just go out and enjoy cocktails. And one day I told her, I said, I looked around and I said, and God instantly dropped in my spirit, there's more to you than this.
Mm. Mm.
And so I had to separate myself from that atmosphere. And I said, you know what? Call me for brunch and events
Mhm.
spaces. like Raza's or going to a white affair at Cooper's or things like that. But I'm no longer going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday just out at the local bar for cocktails. I'm not in that season anymore. So I had to restructure the relationship and not be apologetic for it and just say, I'm in a
Mm,
different season. I'm trying something new. And so, and then giving myself the expectations to expect more from me. I had to
Mm,
say, Drain, expect more from yourself. There's a cliche that says, if you want different, you have to be different, right?
mhm.
And then you have to show up different. And so, in that, I had to say, you know what? You have that power and that decision making to reinvent yourself and to show up differently. Just because someone had that expectation. I said that sometimes in life, people can lock you into the version of you that they've known 20 years
Mhm.
ago. And they can say, well, that person did that 20 years ago, and that's the person that I knew then. And then when that person starts to evolve, they're so focused on the 25 version of you, the 25-year-old version of you, that they
Mhm.
don't allow you to have that newness, that new version of you. And so those are some of the expectations that I had to say, you know what? Let me push that to the side so that I can be a better version for myself. And so I'll
wow.
go through the question again for you ladies. So have you, any of you, ever experienced relationships, expectations, or habits you've had to release in order to become the woman you are today?
Jeraine, you really nailed it on the
Mhm.
head for me in reference to relationships with certain people in my life, and and it was an unfortunate thing because yes, they wanted to still be at that 25-year-old age and
Mm-hmm.
still be there where it's we've evolved and I'm not at that place anymore. I'm expecting more
Mm-hmm.
and there needs to be more and it wasn't and it was a hard decision for me to make because I truly cared and loved my friend, but it just wasn't right for me at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
The closeness that we had, which I thought we had, but with age,
Mhm.
it they were still here and I was moving along here, and they did
Right.
not want to see me move this way. They still wanted that
Mhm.
same Kim that was, oh girl, da da da. No, let's get more. Let's want more.
Right.
And I had to say, you know what? For me, I have to move on. Hey, we can still chit chat, we can still, but I have to move on. And the expectation that it was just different. It was really different. But you hit it right there. You did.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so next, as we're moving on, anybody else want to chime in or
I'll
everybody's good?
chime in.
Okay.
I think relationships as well, and also I think you both kind of said it the same way. You are the company that you keep, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I had to not prioritize. Well, I guess I could say prioritize a relationship where there was someone that I was close to, and I realized that the mindset was very negative, right? And
Mm.
so I'm not a negative person, but it was always every comment was always nothing really positive. And I'm like, well, what is going on with you where you're not happy or happy to see people happy or you're always talking about somebody. And so that didn't feel right with my spirit. So,
Mm.
I still love you, but we can't be as close because of that, right? So I really had to sit with myself and kind of figure out how am I going to navigate this, right? Now we can still talk and everything like that, but that type of behavior, wasn't something that I wanted to be around from my spirit. So I kind of had to navigate that situation.
Mm.
I just, I'm sorry, were you done?
Yes.
No, go.
I was just sitting here thinking as I listened to you ladies speak, but I was thinking about being in a marriage for over 40 some years in a relationship with this man for over 45 years or so since 1980. So it's been a while. Um, and again, the changes that has taken place through that relationship, in 40 some years to also had to shift some of my thinking and my expectations in terms of our relationships when things were good, bad, and different, and just being able to realize that sometimes you can give more of yourself to others, or
Mm.
much trying to please as a wife and a mother that you can lose some of yourself. But again, getting older and becoming more confident over the years of who I am, my self-worth, and what I'm willing to accept and not accept has helped me
Mhm.
be a
Yeah.
strong woman at this point in my life and to be clear and comfortable moving forth.
Yes. And so, ladies, what does protecting your peace look like at your age today? And we talked about, understanding the importance of prioritizing relationships, understanding that we have to prioritize our own self care and making sure that we show up for ourselves. But what does peace look like for each of you? Peace to me is just like very simple. I'm a simple person where, hey, an evening in the house with some popcorn, some wine, listen, reruns of old shows, and just turning off the phone and unplugging and setting those boundaries. Because I was sharing with someone earlier how I used to answer emails at home and I'm
Mm.
off. And
Mhm.
so saying, Jeraine, unplug yourself, give you that time to just like rest. And understanding that I don't have to answer every call. Like my sisters, they'll call me and sometimes I'll answer, but then sometimes I'll text and I just say, I'm good. I'll chat with you guys tomorrow. And to me, that's just, honoring my peace. And so, ladies, what does that peace look like for each of you?
For me, the my piece has learned to look like just spending time with myself. Again, whether I love just listening to music, whether I'm here taking notes or journaling. I enjoy shopping by myself. My piece is not
Mm.
caught up in everyone else's chaos, but to
Mm.
sometimes, like I said, to unplug and not feel the need. To answer every text message or every phone call. Sometimes it's just chatting. Sometimes people want to call and just kind of vent. And I'm thinking, for me, again, my piece is sometimes not taking on everybody else's stuff, but to just find
Yes.
time. I'm happy sitting in my recliner with my cup of tea, whether I'm looking at the a book or just watching some TV show or something and just relaxing, turning off the news, just finding time to just say it's okay and breathe. Just give myself time to breathe and sometimes refocus my own energy in my own space.
Mhm.
Yes. Awesome.
I would say doing things that make me happy, right? Pretty much similar to what you all said, right? If I want to lay on my couch, watch my reruns of Living Single that I could watch every day, right? Go for a walk, even cooking. Like I am a foodie, but it's something about me making a meal, taking my time. That to me is peaceful. People may find it stressful, but I don't mind. I like things like that, right? Even sometimes going out to eat by myself, just doing things that make me happy. Like even today during work, classes are starting. I was answering emails, stressed. I said, okay, during your lunch, you're not gonna sit at your desk, right? You're gonna eat, You're going to get out the office and you're going to walk the campus. And I walked the campus,
Mm.
felt the sun, said hi to some
Mm.
students, and that brought me peace. And then I came back in, I was much more calm. Right? But
Yes, that's
really, to answer the
awesome.
question, anything that brings me joy, right? So that's how it would, and it varies based on the day, what I'm doing,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. And even purging, which I'm working on. So that brings me peace.
Yeah.
She said purging.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
And not
purging.
shopping, because you purge sometimes and then you're like,
Well, they
well,
say
now I can do more shopping.
it
Yes.
depends. It depends, Shereen.
Yeah. I think all of you ladies have said exactly how I feel. Protecting my peace is just really having the ability just to sit and just be quiet, be still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just don't move. Just there's no need. Um, and then protecting my peace. And there are times when on a Saturday morning, it's like you can sleep in. It's okay. Like
Mm.
do it for you,
Yes.
and it took a while. Like Lenora says, it's a process. Because I always like I got to get this done. If I sit, oh my gosh, all the stuff that I could have done in those 2 hours that I rested, oh my gosh, I wasted the day. But
Right.
no, I have learned that I have to do that in order for me to move to the next level or be able to go to the next journey or so yeah, protecting my peace is just sometimes just sitting and being still.
Kim, I like how
Yes.
you said
And
sleep because sleep for me is the same way. So, like, I'm up, I work, a 9 to 5,
Mhm.
during the week. And so Sundays I go to church,
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, I'm not on Zoom, but most of the time I'm in person. But on
Mhm.
Saturdays, I'm like, can I just sleep in for like, past 8 o'clock? Like, just and it's like the most enjoyable thing to me. So I truly understand what you mean. But in the back of my mind, it's like, okay, if I get up, I can do X, Y, and Z. But I'm
Right.
like, I just
yeah.
want to sleep. Can I just not have an alarm clock? Can I
Right.
just, that is joy. Okay.
It is.
Yes. Yes. And so, because Ageless Ambition is all about reinvention, purpose, and just understanding that you do have power, what is one accomplishment or goal or ambition that you want to try in this next year?
Hmm.
Mm.
So to me, I would love to be like Dion and try new dishes. Sometimes I'll gather recipes. Like I did, I call myself, I'm gonna make this hot pot. Sometimes I'll have it. It's called a hot pot, but
Mhm.
basically it's noodles with
Mhm.
vegetables, right? And so I went out and brought all these fancy ingredients. Now I could have did it the easy way and got some oodles of noodles and chopped up some vegetables, right? But no, I wanted to make it from scratch. But mind you, I could have spent the $11 and stopped at the store. So I do want to try in this next year, I want to try new recipes. What I have learned is that I am a puzzle person. So I have a puzzle
Mm.
that's waiting for me to actually put together. And I enjoy that. I used to like a puzzle, but I'm only up to 250, right? And so
Okay.
I enjoy that because it gives me peace. And it's not in one sitting. It's just like it's just scattered
Mhm.
out. And sometimes I'll walk by and then just start putting it together. And it takes my mind off of the day and, watching TV. And then a goal setting of mine is that to continue the weight loss and the wellness journey.
So I'll share next.
Mm-hmm.
It just slipped my mind. Oh my gosh, Dan. Oh,
What is
I want
okay?
to learn how to play chess. So
Hmm.
that's something that I want to learn. I was in a leadership institute, and one of our facilitators said, chess teach you how to be strategic. And it's so interesting you said that because I always wanted to learn how to play chess and I had it on my phone and I took it off. So I'm actually starting to play chess more on my phone, but I'm looking for, and I think I
Mm.
found the in-person group that plays chess. So that's one thing that's on my horizon. I want to learn how to play chess. Something else personally, I actually starting my own consulting firm about consulting and financial aid and things of that nature. So that's on my list I'm actually working on currently. And actually, I want to try different food cuisine. I love food, but I think I can do a lot better with stepping out and things of that nature. So like Joreen said, cooking more, just trying more cuisines, things of that nature. Those are some things that I'm looking forward to.
Yes. And so, ladies, in this next year, what is a goal, an experience, or something that you want to try?
I think for me, um, I used to go on Instagram and TikTok a lot and just do motivational sayings and
Mm.
just talk. And I
Hmm.
stopped that. So one of my goals is that I need to be a little more focused and be consistent in doing that. It gave me joy because I had someone come up to me and mention and said, "I've missed you. Where have you been?
Wow.
You uplift me." And I was just like, "You listen to me?" And she
Mm.
was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I was doing it not to get numbers, not to get likes, not to, it was just something that I was like, it's something that I can offer to someone. And if you can use it, great. Put it in that little toolbox of yours. And when you need it, take it out. Um, and that's one of my goals is to be more consistent and intentional.
Mm.
Yes.
Oh, it made me think too. I have, as I mentioned, I really enjoy doing full arrangements and designs and all sorts of goodie bags and baskets I've done for people and events. And they keep saying, you should start a business. You should start a business. I'm like, oh no, because, then I have to like take the time to, and which I do, if I need to, but I just didn't want to be, tied into doing it, but I'm going to give some more thought to that. And plus, I do a lot because I just enjoy doing it. It brings me pleasure to do those type of things. I thought also more about whether I'm going to do more volunteer work in terms of I've always worked with women and children,
Mm,
particularly teenagers as well. So I kind of do that a little bit now as needed, but I'm thinking about whether I want to focus more on continue to reach out and expand my consulting work. But I have to save time for travel because that's something my husband and I really enjoy doing. We're leaving in next month for South Africa, uh,
oh,
Oh.
traveling to Zimbabwe and different places. So
yeah,
a number of places that we're trying to do and just enjoying each other, taking time because I feel I've worked hard for many, many years, giving and giving and giving, and now taking time to try to reap the benefits of some of the stuff I've done while still finding time to invest in others.
nice.
Yes. Beautiful. And so, ladies, as we're wrapping up the Ageless Ambition, Giving Yourself Grace episode, I want you guys to take yourself to a place where the sun will set. Kimberly, I love your sunset behind you. And so take yourself to that place of sunset.
Mm.
And what would you say to the younger version of yourself about the woman that she's going to become? And so I'll go first. I'll say, first of all, I love sunsets, and this episode is all about sunsets and appreciating that aging graceful journey. And I would tell the younger version of myself is that, Terrain, you're going to go through some storms. You're going to go
Mm,
through some dark places. but one day you're going to meet God, and he's going to give you some light, and he's going to give you some direction. And even in that, you're still going to fall, you're still going to make mistakes. But one day you'll get it. It'll all come together, and it'll be worth it, because in that testimony, you'll be able to share with other women and understand that God has you and he has the final say.
Mm.
So, if ladies, if you want to give something to that younger self of you.
I love that. And I do love sunsets as well. And I automatically think when I'm
Mhm.
walking along the ocean, the different places we've been and watching the sunset and then the sunrise. But I find it very peaceful to do that. And what I would say to my younger self is continue to persevere. The storms will,
Mm,
the naysayers will be there, the doubts will be there, but continue to hold on, continue to reach out, continue to trust in God because He does have a plan in place for you that you can't see at this year
mm-hmm.
off, but just continue to hold on and fight through and
Mm.
get to the other side because there is a wonderful plan for your life that God has.
Yes.
You just hold on and believe.
Yes.
Mm. I'll go.
Okay. I thought you were going to say,
Go
okay,
ahead.
Megan.
Um, unless you want to go, Dion, go ahead.
You can go.
Okay. I think I would tell my younger self that, God is going to bless you tremendously. You follow his word, you have faith in him, and the struggles that you are going through or have gone through, it's to make you a stronger person. And that when you get old, it's not you becoming less of yourself or less seen as an older person.
Mm.
It's this is who you were meant to be.
Mm,
And as long as you can remember that, you're going to age gracefully.
yes, I love that.
I love that. I would say to my younger self that you were created for a purpose.
Mm.
Mm,
Keep pushing and keep doing you, right?
Mm.
You have the tools. You know what tools maybe you need, but just trust in yourself and keep pushing.
Wow.
yes.
I love
Amen. Amen. So,
that.
ladies, again, I thank you guys for joining Ageless Ambition. I'm just going to just ask you guys to leave something motivational out there for the women who are going to listen today. And so if you can just speak to the women from the heart, something encouraging as we exit. And so
Mm.
we'll start with Dion.
Something motivational, I would say. There's a poem. I can't remember all the poem, but especially for my African American sisters. We are a room full of sisters, jewels of a crown, vanilla, cinnamon, and dark chocolate brown. We were created for a purpose. Believe in yourself and love yourself.
Amen.
Yes,
Oh,
love that.
love that. That's beautiful.
Lenora.
I would say to remember that you are worthy. Remember that God has a plan for your life, whether you can see it now or not. But to keep on keeping on, keep on believing and reach out to others. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Um, trust somebody, trust in God foremost, but to reach out to the positive people and remove yourself from situations where you're not seen or heard or respected.
And Kimberly.
I would say you have a purpose and to find that purpose. And it's okay to say no. It really is. And keep the faith and just protect your peace.
Yes, amen, amen. And so, ladies, I leave you with the encouragement of letting you know that you have the ability to reinvent yourself at every stage of your life. You have power, it's within you. Just ask God for that creativity, for that power, and for that direction. And at every stage of your life, you do have purpose. Every time you wake up in the morning, you have a decision to make that can either drive you to purpose, make you stagnant, or make you sit down. And it's okay to have different days of different variations as long as you continue to drive yourself forward in life. And so, ladies, I ask that you just stay on as I exit. So, ladies, thank you for joining us for another episode of Ageless Ambition. I am Jeraine Simmons, your podcast host. Thank you and have a lovely evening. And so, ladies, you guys can just stay on.